Hello, 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 hello. Thank you everyone for joining the Greatness Chats. I am your host, Kevin Grimes Sr., with the beautiful, the successful Deontay Chanel White, right?
Yes, Chantel. Yep, Chantel White. How are you? How
I'm
you
good.
feeling?
And yourself? How was your day?
It was a day. It was a Monday, a super Monday.
Uh,
But we're here by God's grace. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to have a chat with you and your community. So thanks again.
Thank you. No, thank you. I've had you speak at my networking events, and as I told you then, that I'm going to be moving more to the online platform so that there's no distractions going on, and people can go back and play this later. Um, I personally have had people say, and even knowing that you were coming on here today to say they can't wait to hear from you, they can't wait to connect with you later. So this is a good opportunity for them to actually hear you and then reconnect with you later. So in the comments below, we will make sure we have all your contact information, and I know you're going to share it with the people. You ready?
I am. Let's go.
So tell the people who you are and how did you land up on Greatness Chats today?
Yeah. So hi everyone. I'm Deontay Chantel. I am a real estate developer out of the New Jersey area, but I do focus on all urban areas across the globe. Let's just say that.
Nice.
And we are currently doing workforce mixed use development, market rate development as well in New Jersey, in Chicago, PA, Kansas City, Missouri, you name it, literally all urban markets across America. Um, I also have a nonprofit organization called Journey to Develop Her, and we focus on educating women and minority developers about real estate development. So my education platform is a nonprofit, and we do help people get started in real estate. You do have to pay. I'm not going to act like it's free because it's not. But it's something that I'm passionate about. We do have a podcast. You learn a lot from the podcast itself. But when we work together in coaching, that's more of implementation, right?
Mhm.
So I've had people reach out to me and say, hey, based on your podcast interview that you've done with yourself or other developers, I was able to go get this land, right? Or I need to work with you so you can help me get this parcel of land. So we already give the game away. The internet is telling y'all what to do. Y'all have to really just be serious about what y'all want. And if you want to work with people one on one, of course, you do have to pay. But we do give out the info for free on the internet. So I'm
Well,
excited to just continue to, foster our communities.
and I feel like the internet does give a general game out,
Mm,
but I feel like you need that one-on-one connection, right?
yeah.
Because they're telling you they might give you the general knowledge and you should take it and run with it. But I personally have learned anybody who I know that have gotten real success has had some type of mentorship and one-on-one connection. So
Yep.
so
Yeah. I think you have to pay attention. Like I do believe that. Um, I mean, I just wanted it. So I'm a different breed. I just wanted it. I paid with my time, my efforts, my value that I was able to bring to other developers. So I paid in sweat equity when I didn't have the money, and my mentor was my bank account. My mentor was my 2 year old daughter that I had to feed. So everybody's motivation is different, and some people need a coach or drill sergeant. But when you're passionate about something and you really want something, why do you need somebody down your throat to push you to get it? You know what I'm saying? It's either you want it or you don't. And that makes, when people are like that, like they're lazy even after they paid me, I'm like, you don't want this. You just want what this vehicle has to offer, but you're not really passionate about rebuilding communities, providing housing solutions. You just want what the Joneses have, what people have on social media, right? You're just trying to be like somebody else. Um, that's a whole nother stuff.
they want the success. They want the success part, the easily popcorn success, right? And
Yeah, and it don't work like that. Like there's even now, I'm doing a lot of great things, but it's not easier. It's not easier. I know what my purpose is. I know what my assignment is on this earth. And I'm passionate about what I do, even when I don't make no money. So can you say the
that's
same?
hard. That's
Yeah.
hard. right?
Yeah.
Like I love real estate, but them days when I don't, or that first quarter, I feel it, right? I feel the
You
first
know, as a
quarter. I love
realtor,
real
right?
estate, but
A
first
broker, you're a
quarter,
broker?
no, no, I'm an agent, but
Okay, so you know.
I could be a broker any day. I have to pace myself, right?
Right. And I used to be a realtor. Like I've been in real estate for a long time. So listen, if you're not cash flowing, you're not really in business, right? So I talk about that a lot too. A lot of people want to be developers, but I'm like, hey, you have to keep your cash flow from your job, your 9 to 5, and you also should be investing in the cash flowing assets like real estate and rental properties. Some people can just jump into development, some cannot. It depends on where you are. I'm sorry for rambling.
No, 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 no. Keep going. We appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
But you talked about your journey, right? So that's my first question. Tell us a little bit about your journey to where you started. Was it in necessarily? We don't have to go back to your fast food jobs if you ever did, right? But let's talk about how did you get to the journey of now of becoming a developer.
Yes. So I did work at a fast food job, but that was not when I was a teenager. But
Okay.
as an
Me too.
adult, as an adult, I graduated undergrad. I was 22 years old, got introduced to real estate, became a realtor in New York City, made a little bit of money, shifted off into law because I always wanted to be a lawyer. So I became a real estate paralegal. In that job, I literally declared out my mouth, I want to be a real estate developer. Now, the me saying it really came from a place of me just loving real estate, like just loving the culture of real estate, what it looked like before and after, beautifying, rehabbing, preserving a property, right? At the time, I knew Brooklyn was going to become, I'm sorry, Newark was going to become the new Brooklyn. And I was living in a gold mine. I literally knew Newark was going to be that next gentrified area. And the city of Newark was giving out land for $1,000. Well, y'all, I was so financially challenged at the time that I didn't even have $1,000. Me or my ex-boyfriend at the time, who happened wanted to be my daughter's father, we didn't have the $1,000 that we needed to buy this land from the city of Newark. And we were sleeping on the airbed, like it was like real bad. But we knew we was in the middle of a gold mine. Fast forward, I said, you know what? I know this is what I want to do. I want this more than anything. I would watch HGTV. I would go to webinars, seminars. Back in the days, it was more so seminars. You had to go into the building. I would just get all the information I could get and just hone in on it. I would read books, literally any free information I could get, I was tapped in. Now, I discovered wholesaling. Wholesaling, I was like, this is going to be my ticket to raising capital for my real estate projects. And that's what I literally did. I became a real estate wholesaler, learned how to flip contracts, built capital, partnered with the cash buyers that I was meeting and flipping properties to. Some of them became my mentors for free, right? Some of them helped me get into real estate development. And a lot of them are still helping me with projects to this day. So you just never know who you're going to meet. Even as you being a realtor, if you're coming across these people with cash and money, those are your investors. Those are the people that's going to help you get the capital for your deals, believe it or not. And that's how you have to look at it. Everybody's a partner. Everybody should be treated well, so they can, sorry, got distracted. So they can help you on your journey. Literally the very first person that ever called my phone to buy a property from me is my mentor and investor to this day.
Wow.
I don't even know how he found my number on Facebook, but he did.
So I see you say the word journey a lot, right? And it's funny that that's the name of your nonprofit because it sounds like you really identified that your journey is what's going to be your future and how you're going to change the world.
Yeah.
I like that. Next question. So, as being a female developer, what are some things that you've seen some obstacles that you feel that you've come across that you feel that because you was a woman, it became an obstacle, and how did you overcome it?
That's a great question. And I always ask people this question, and now it's time for me to answer it. Right at this point, it's not an obstacle that any other person wouldn't deal with. We all are looking for capital. We all are trying to be taken serious, especially if you are a person of color.
Mm.
They don't want us in this space. They're like, there's no room for you, and we're all playing catch up. I mean, I'm only like in my 30s, but for the most part, Black people getting into the development space and the droves that we're doing right now, the others don't want, like, we're taking their inventory, right? We're their competition. I will say on the construction side, it has been challenging because a lot of it you do have to outsource. You do have to rely on the manpower of someone else and a person to have integrity to get your projects done. So those two areas, raising capital, which a Black man is going to say the same thing, a white man may say the same thing, and also just managing construction teams and partnering well, I would say is a little interesting from a woman because they're looking at us as weakness. Oh, I can manipulate her. I could treat her like the women that I mistreat in real life. Like, no, you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying all men do that, but I'm just saying, it's like they're looking at it as like, yeah, I could take advantage. So women, we just have to be more discerning. We literally have to treat them like the people that we're dating, like really investigate them, pop up on their job sites, making sure they are who they say they are, and checking the paperwork. Are you qualified enough to work with me? Do you have all your paperwork in order? Actually go check to make sure they have the insurance in place. It is not fake, right? Make sure that they're bondable. So everything is checks and balances here. And as a woman, you just have to double down on it and don't take no for an answer. I've been told no so many times. Yeah, you are a woman, you are Black, you are poor. Like, I've heard it all. But y'all gonna respect me, right? And what I'm gonna say is you're gonna have to build a really strong team behind you or around you. So wherever you lack, they can add value and they can take up, the portions that you don't have enough experience in. So that's literally my story. I didn't have any experience when I became a designated developer with the city of Newark, but I had a really strong executive summary and proposal. And then I had to have people like me. Like, you don't get nowhere in life when people don't like you, right?
Oh.
Like,
Say
we
that
pray.
again. Say that one more time.
You don't get anywhere in life if people don't like you, no one's going to be willing to help you. So I do pray for favor. And I ask that God favor me and have man favor me, right? I need other people to like me and favor me and want to help me. If people don't want to help you, you're not getting nowhere. And that goes for politicians, buyers, sellers, investors. If they don't resonate with you or like you as a person, forget about your project. You can have the best project in the world, making the most money. They're not going to fund it. So you better have the character, the integrity, be likable, not snooty, not disrespectful, add value, figure out ways to add value to people in this business, and you'll go a long way.
Nice.
For sure.
Do you think that's your perspective of being successful? Do you think it has those core values in it, like having the respect, having the work ethic, having people look at you and want to work with you? You think that's your full perspective of being successful?
Yeah, well, I have a long way to go, by the way. I'm gonna figure it out.
You're still
But
growing.
I'm still going. But for the most part, people like me. Yeah. They like my story. They like that I love God. They know I'm a woman of God. And they be like, yeah, I just got to work with you. I just have to help you. Like, it's that type of impression once you meet me and you really get to know me. But then some of them know I don't play no games either, right? So playing with you.
Not playing no games.
Right. I'll smile. I got pretty nice teeth, but we're not playing no games at all, right? But at the end of the day, a lot of people right now, I get a lot of referrals. A lot of people resonate with my testimony of how I went from zero to developer. And they're like, wow, I see God in you. Literally, I had a woman who I looked up to who's now a developer. She's like, when I heard you talking, I knew it was the Holy Spirit flowing through you, and I had to get to know you, right? Because one thing about me, I'm never going to act like I have it all figured out and that I'm too big to give God the glory. Like, I know it was God that funded that project, right? Some people are like, well, no, it was God, because
It was actually God himself.
it was God
He
himself.
had a hand in that. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
But a lot of people in this space, they they're prideful. Oh, I'm smart. I'm this. I made this connection. No, God actually told me to contact that person, and I didn't even want to. Right.
Mm.
Um, I had my architect trying to introduce me to people, and for whatever reason, it never went through. He was even going to introduce me to this builder. He was like, but no, he's working on bigger projects. He wouldn't even look at your project. But God said, contact that builder. And guess what? He went on to fund a project for me. Over $2 million when I had no money.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? So people can't talk to me about God. Everything is God's going to get the glory about everything. So,
Amen. Amen.
yeah.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So tell me about a story, because you talked about God here, right? So I know you have a horror story where you thought everything was planned out perfectly to the T, and it didn't. Tell us about a story.
Child. Which,
Yeah. Just one. We only got enough time for one today. Tell us
well,
about
we'll talk about this story in particular.
Mhm.
My zero to developer story. Literally, I did everything I told you I was going to do.
Mhm.
I was going to wholesale real estate. I was going to partner. I did all of that. I bought investment properties, all of that. And I was even engaged to be married during this whole process. And everything just went, well, COVID it was a lot going on. I had a property that I was about to get foreclosed on. We had that hurricane. Remember that hurricane we had? And everybody got flooded.
Flooded in the basements,
Yeah.
yes.
The basements got flooded in
Never
Jersey.
gonna forget that.
40,000 in the hole because we already tapped out all the resources. So things just kept on happening. So I was facing foreclosure on that one. And I broke up with my ex-fiance. We sold assets. I took all that money, paid off my debts, and I was back at zero. This is how I ended up at zero. So you're talking about building a life with someone, having to call off a wedding because God said no, and just starting at zero, like literally broke, depressed. Didn't even want to be honest with y'all. I just was like, I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So once you get to that point, it's like you don't even want to live. Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade, right?
Mm.
That's how I felt in that moment. It was nothing but God, Holy Spirit, that was comforting me, that was like telling me what to read, like, declare no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And then really realizing that my inheritance from God is peace. So once I got that revelation in my head, I can't go into that right now, that God will give me peace. I already have peace, like through Christ Jesus. I already have riches through Christ Jesus, that it was all going to work out. And literally, once I got that revelation, like the next day, because I have a journal entry on it, and I'm going to probably make it like a journal for entrepreneurs in the future. But that was the moment that things shifted, literally. And from that moment on, I don't really worry about money anymore.
Wow.
I literally have peace that even when I don't have it, God is going to make it work. I know that I stand on Psalms 23:1, where it says, the Lord is my shepherd, aka my provider, aka my helper. I shall not want. Literally. That means I have everything that I need. I lack nothing. So if I have that revelation that God is my helper, I have everything I need, I have everything I want, I literally lack nothing. I don't even operate from a place of lack anymore. So when I don't have it, I'm like, God, I know you're going to give it to me. And literally, to the second, God, like, whatever I'm supposed to have, he makes sure I have in due time, before the due date, right? So people have to be intentional about their words. They have to stop operating from a place of scarcity and lack. Just because you see that your bank account is negative, that doesn't mean that you operate from that deficiency. You should be realizing, like, nope, the God that I serve, if you have a relationship with God, right? The God I serve is going to provide what I need him to provide if he wants me to have it. So this is why you got to be intentional. You got to know, are you called to real estate? Are you called to real estate development? Are you called to whatever you're doing? Because if you're trying to be like somebody else, you're also going to get the woes and the spirits that come with this headache of real estate, right?
Yeah.
You know, the challenges of real estate. But if you're called to it and you know you're in position, you're supposed to be here, then you know that God is going to provide for you. And that it came to that point too. I'm like, God, do I need to go back to get a job? Like when I was going through all that, because I have a degree, I could go make 6 figures as a paralegal in New York City. Do I need to go get a job? And I would apply for jobs, and God would make sure I don't get the jobs, y'all. He just was like, nope, this is what you're supposed to be doing. But I had to have that revelation. That revelation might look totally different than everybody else, but the way he was speaking to me in that season, I needed to be crushed and pruned. Everything, he had to take everything from me to let me know, like, you only have all of this because I gave it to you. And that's why I could say this out my mouth. Every red cent I have is because God gave it to me.
Yeah, we might have to have a whole nother conversation on that alone, right? Being stripped of everything to then turn around and have more than you've ever had in your life. That I've lived that testimony where he literally took everything and gave me more than I ever thought I would have. And that was a scary feeling to be like, wait, a few months ago I was here, or 2 years ago I was literally here, and then go into a whole nother place.
Yeah. That very year, I went from like negative to almost $500,000 on my account. The bank account that we even tried to deposit the money in, it got shut down. I didn't even know. So we had like a big old wire being sent over to that account. The account didn't even exist anymore because it was negative. Okay. That's how broke I was.
Wow.
So God could do anything. God, if you are righteous, if you believe, if you have faith, and you put the work behind the faith, you're unstoppable through Christ. Oh, well, whatever y'all believe in, but for me, it's through Christ. Okay. So there you go.
And people are asking in the chat for your ad, so we're going to make sure we put all your ad information. Can you just tell them real quick? People are asking for your ad.
So I'm on Instagram at Dionte. My name Dionte Chantel, and also at Journey to Develop Her. But really, Dionte Chantel is where you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, Dionte Chantel White, and that's it for the most part. TikTok.
And she answers her DMs. You know how some women be like, I don't answer DMs. She actually answers her DMs.
Yes. Sometimes my marketing team is in there, so don't get spicy.
Okay, between her and her marketing team, they're going to actually answer you.
Right. We are. Yep.
So I have another question for you. And I've had the pleasure of hearing you speak. Can you tell us your biggest accomplishments as a developer today?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll just talk about a new testimony. I mean, we have a lot of projects in the pipeline. Literally have like over 300 units in pre-development on one site in Kansas City, Missouri.
I'm sorry, how many?
300 units.
300 units.
In pre-development. Yeah, we didn't break ground on it yet. We just got another 100 acres in Kansas City, Missouri that we'll be co-developing on. I help people like myself raise capital. I joined their projects. We just got like 75 units 75 acres in Alabama. I'll be helping another Black woman build out that project. But most recently, we just won 5 parcels of land in Chicago for $5. And it's, I know. Now, listen, I ain't going to even hype y'all up. It's not an easy project. It's an affordable and mixed income project. So we are getting about $2 million in grants. It's not easy. We have to do prevailing wage. That's what makes it hard. However, we know that it's going to make a great impact in the community of Chicago, the North Lawndale community of Chicago. We had a really big town hall meeting press conference. The community showed up and showed out. They're really looking forward to being a part of this legacy piece. So we're like myself and 4 other developers are going to be bringing 45 units to the community by way of single to 4 unit buildings. So it's going to be amazing. So I'm really proud about that project. It's my new baby. It's a little bit of a headache, but it's going to be well worth it.
So if someone wanted to be a developer financially, and congratulations, I don't want to,
Thank
I
you.
don't want to skip over that because, like, when I say I wanted to do greatness chats so people can really meet and get in tune with greatness, you're talking about longevity, legacy for your family outside of New York, outside of this compass or area, and that's what it's about, right? Changing the world in Chicago,
Yeah.
changing the world in other places, and I salute you for that.
Thank you.
Financially, someone wants to be a developer. What do they need to be looking at in their bank account when
Mhm.
they say, "I'm going to call myself developer on Instagram"?
Child.
Oh man.
I mean,
Hmm.
again, I did it with no money. So, and sometimes I still don't have no money. Here's the thing. Just to put that out
Okay.
there. Here's the thing. All of the others, I ain't gonna say the ethnicities, but the others, the lighter skinned people, they don't have no money either. They bamboozled all of us. They don't have the money. They're borrowing money from other people. They're leveraging money from other people, other sources. So why aren't we? Right? You need to be having,
OPM.
yeah, OPM, other people's money, other people's experience, other people's time. Leverage is what you need to master. So you have business funding, right? Where that could be your silent partner right there. Chase Bank, Citizens Bank, these credit unions, that's your silent partner if your credit is right. If you're literally credible, where you can go and get you a loan 0% interest for 12 months or 18 months, whatever it is, that is your down payment, that's your gap funding, that is your business partner. Then you have bridge loan, hard money lenders who's going to give you the real estate financing. For new construction, I can hold you. Some of them do want you to have experience. So this is where you need to leverage other people's experience. You have to partner with somebody. Now, in my community, I bring a lot of private money people in there that have different terms. So some of them you don't even need experience. You just need more money down. So that's when you're going to leverage that bank funding that I just talked about. But you're only going to go as far as your team anyway. So you need to start networking with the best builders that you can find and leverage their experience. Okay. Get your land designated to you for cheap from these municipalities, etc. But how much money do someone really typically need to get started on a project, whether it's your money or somebody else's money? I was saying that depending on the market,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the deal, minimum 100 grand, minimum.
Or have access to it. So
Or
100 grand in the bank, or have access to 100 grand.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
you should be able to go to a bank and get some capital, borrow some money from somebody, add people on your projects. Can you get it up for cheaper? Yes, you can. So we had a young lady that won a lot for 12,000. Her pre-development costs probably like 45K. So she'll be able to walk into a project 45K, we'll say 60K, right? So it depends on how cheap you're getting it. And this is why I teach people how to get properties and land up to 90% off. Okay.
Okay. Do you
Because
deal with anything with land? What is it? Land banks?
so we deal with the land bank, we deal with city-owned properties, we deal with over-the-counter tax sales, all of those different sources. We do engage with those.
Nice. And if you don't know about that, ladies and gentlemen, anything that I said, you can contact her, and she will, if you join a course, you'll get the knowledge, and
Right. And
Google
we
is
do,
everything. Look
yeah,
it up. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I mean, a lot of the basic stuff we say it on it. I say it on my page. When I go live, um, I give out a lot of information. So it's all about making sure you guys can find me. You know where to find me at. You are engaging. You're watching my videos. I literally tell you mostly what you need to know. The land banks throughout America is over 200 of them, and you do need to write a proposal. So I'm not going to say you could just say, "Hey, I want to buy land." You need to be able to package yourself as an investor developer on paper. Once you master that and you apply and you have your capital stack in order, you have your proof of funds letters or whatever to show that you can actually financially buy it, they'll start to entertain you.
Okay.
They will sell you land. You have, like, of course, Detroit Land Bank, some of these other more popular land banks where you can just bid on the properties as well. I'm not going to hold you. Detroit has a long way to go for before you really get niched down with the new construction there. They have so many properties that needs to be redeveloped, and a lot of those properties are not worth it. I hate to say it like that, but they're not worth the investment yet until there's some more funds, like money. Like, there's no money circulating through those communities as they should be. The people really don't have the money to pay rent. And if you are going to do rentals, do not, I don't want to say this, Lord, forgive me, but try to have some guaranteed money through the housing choice programs that's out there, or any voucher.
I like how you did that. I like how you did that.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. Try to get money, set up group homes, things like that. Because the horror stories I hear from lower income areas and the higher income areas throughout the country, people are just not paying rent anymore. I don't know what's going on, but they don't have the money.
So my next question is, how do you balance out the big decisions, right? So the risk versus reward, how do you balance that out when making a really big financial decision?
Prayer.
I'm telling you, flip a coin.
Prayer.
Prayer. Okay.
Yeah, I'm so like, God, what do I do? I mean, here's the thing. I do have an advantage. You all have the advantage as well. I do seek God about everything. So even when I don't hear him on something, I'm like, God, I submitted this to you. Bless it, please. Right? Or show me a sign, make an interference somewhere where all of this stops if you're not backing it or if you don't think I should be doing it. So I'm very intentional. I'm very spiritual. I'm very in tune with God at this point. I encourage you all to be, because why waste money and time when you're going in the wrong direction, right? I like to go in the right direction. So since I do have that, I built that relationship with God. I have no excuse now, because if he tells me no and I'm still going, I'm just in disobedience, and I'm about to deal with whatever's coming my way. And that's in everything. That's even in relationships, y'all. So me dating, child. God be like, no. I'll be like, but I really like him. So now he already told me no, and I really like him. Now it's like, well, if you mess around and find out, you might be a detriment to your own self, right? So,
I like that. I like that.
yeah. So of course there's numbers that we're looking at, not to be super spiritual, but that's literally what it is. The numbers have to make sense. We're looking at metrics. Typically, we're looking at the ARV, which is the comps. We're seeing what the properties are selling for. We're looking at the construction budget. We're seeing what it would cost to rehab and or build homes from the ground up. We're typically looking at what the lender wants as well. So the lender's metrics are typically 65 to 70% of the ARV. Some of them will go to 75% minus the repairs. So if it don't fit in that equation, then the deal doesn't work anyway.
All right. Tell me the numbers again. Break down that.
So 65. Well, for
65.
building, we'll even go to 60% to 75% of the ARV, which is the comp, minus the
value of the property. Go ahead.
Right, value of the property, minus the repairs and or the development costs.
Okay.
Okay. And that's typically where we would need to be at, whatever that number is.
Whatever that final number comes in.
Yeah. Okay. But sometimes the numbers can make sense and God still say no. So I'm just like,
yeah, okay. That's a good guy. So that's how you balance it out between numbers and prayer.
Literally. Okay. I had someone I was working with recently. Numbers were great, but the project is a headache. There's a lot of things that they didn't budget for because it's a rehab. So there's a lot of things that they didn't budget for. They didn't see behind the walls. Literally, the girl cried on the phone with me, and I'm like, baby, I didn't think that was a good idea, right? But we're here. We pray that God puts his hand back on it and that everything starts to go in your favor. So y'all have to be intentional. Pray, 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 pray. Even the people that you hire to do the work, you need to be praying over them that they don't get sick, that they are integral, that they're not trying to steal your money, your material, that they want to see you win, that they like you. Because a lot of these people don't care if you lose all your money on a deal. They really don't care.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
So
cares.
you have to be intentional about even the people that you're hiring that's going to be helping you bring your vision to life. If they're against you, if they just out there to get your money and see you fail, that's what's going to happen. That actually happened to me. That actually happened to me in that last project. I had to fire my own ex-fiance. Okay. So like it happens. It happens. So whether
You
you
are
get,
a GC, right?
I'm no longer a general contractor. I was, but I let that
Okay.
go. So right now I've learned how to be a master delegator. For Chicago, we're thinking about getting a GC license. But at the end of the day, we're a master delegator. We go after the best teams with the best capacity, with their paperwork in order. I'm going to tell everybody how to weed them out is if they are not bondable, if they cannot get a surety bond, which is a performance bond, then you don't need to work with them. That's the story. I'm sticking to it. Okay.
That, it's funny because I remember when I first started real estate. Well, now I'm making 11 years, right? I'm like, I never want to become a landlord. My goal for 2025 is to be a landlord. And recently, a friend of mine who is a landlord and a developer, he's got me on these development calls, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I think I like this, but it's like the scary stories of just the contractors alone. The contractors' stories alone is like, I got a son. I can't do this. I don't know how I'm gonna get, to the other side, knowing that a contractor just used my money to go find another job and didn't come back. Like,
And that's what's been happening, unfortunately. So you need they need to be licensed. They need to be insured.
Now, do you tell them to get additional insurance, or they should already have it?
So they should already have it. You owning the land, if someone falls on the land or the sidewalk, you want to have your own general liability, right? But the contractor should have all of the insurances themselves. Workers' comp, general liability, all of that, whatever else is entailed, right? But the third layer of protection is that surety bond.
Okay.
That surety bond this is a for sure performance of yours. If you don't do the work, your bonding company is going to reimburse me or make you pay me back my money. It's no going to court. It gets settled during that project.
Oh, okay.
That's what we like.
You don't have to wait till the project is already done and then try to take the court to sue them for the money.
No.
So, okay. Security, what is it
It's
called?
called a surety bond.
Surety bond. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go back onto this and be taking notes because
surety bond, because it's a for sure thing. Like this is a performance bond. So this means that you are going to do what you say you're going to do, and if not, people can recoup damages. Okay. Nice. Even if they go over budget, not budget, even if they go over the timeline. Once you go over like 4 weeks over timeline schedule, the project is the budget for the project is blown. Like it's like finite, right? Once you outspend your contingency, it's like the project is done.
Yeah.
So you could even go after them for that through the surety bond. So if they're coming back to you and say, hey, I can't get a bond, that means they're not doing what they have to do in real life. Like they're not a real builder. They're not paying taxes. They're a broke contractor. So I don't even like to work with people that are not bondable, to be honest with you.
All right. Yeah. I appreciate that. I just learned something. All right. So we got a few more minutes. I have some things that I really want to get out for the women. From the time you first started in real estate, I'm gonna say even from real estate, right? From then to now, what differences have you seen with women within the industry? Have you seen any strides?
Yeah, I've been meeting a lot of female developers, which doesn't surprise me. and of all races, white, black, whatever. You know why? We're the pillars of our communities. Like we're the ones that are left to make sure the community is thriving, right? We're spending money in the communities, we're raising the children. So why not be a part of investing in the community and tapping into that, and also just being pillars, like just being what's upholding what people see when they're in the process of just being an asset. So I think it's important. This is why you see a lot of people, women in politics, they're nurturers, they're teachers, but now we're the ones that's going to be coming back to beautify and preserve our communities as well. A lot of them get intimidated because they're like, hey, I don't have the money. But with the grants out there, with the resources, with leveraging, we really don't have many excuses. I like to say all of us should be doing it. Our black men as well, or whatever color you are. You have no excuse. Get to it. Partner with the others if you have to, because they're coming to your communities with or without you.
Yeah, yeah,
So
every community.
you need to
They're
be
not
like,
waiting.
no, you need to structure this deal with me, include it, right? So
Mhm.
be intentional about all your relationships, especially the others, because they know where to find the extra capital you may not know how to find. Um, but you may have the opportunity, Kevin, right? You may have some land, put that land under contract yourself and insert yourself in that project. Even if you're only getting 20%, 10%, so what? Get something, start getting the experience as the developer or, a partner on there, and take
Mhm.
that deal and go get your own deal started. Take that money, that experience, and go get your own stuff started. So
Yeah,
I don't
because
know about
even if you're 10% of a project, you was part of the project, right?
you.
That's something you can add to your proposal to say, I was part of that big unit, right?
Yep,
All right.
exactly.
Two more questions, and I'm gonna let you go, and I'm super appreciative
Okay.
of your time.
Take
Um, what are some things that you're doing in the community to help others get more knowledge and being involved in real estate as a whole?
Yeah, so again, the podcast is a part of that initiative. So it's called Journey to Develop Her. We're about to relaunch it because we took a break. But even all the interviews that I've done in the past, I interview other people that have very similar stories. They shared their whole blueprint. I've shared my whole blueprint. We have a new community that we just launched for women called the Develop Her Collective. And we just had a mastermind in January. We have one March 29th in New Jersey. We'll be moving that out to PA, Atlanta, and Chicago as well over the year. But these are just little things that we're able to do to make sure people have the information. Like just social media, like I said, I go live. I'm telling you what to do on social media. So you, again, nobody has any excuses. But we also will probably do some type of project together, select a few individuals, because I don't want to just work with anybody. Those who are ready, but those who are integral and we have the same vision and mission, we'll probably do a project together for the community as well. We're engaging with other local politicians and community members who back us and what we stand up for, banks as well. Tons of collaborations with, the NACAs out there. I'm actually about to create a program out in Chicago with this new program where we'll have like zero down FHA loans
Mm.
where you'll just be able to get a second mortgage to cover the down payment assistance. There is a bank locally over here that does it, but Chicago doesn't have that. So we're going to just create a whole new one over there. So they'll have the same options. And if I could get other banks in New Jersey to do it as well, that'd be great. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Final question.
Yeah.
Where would you like to see female developers in the next 5 years?
That's a great question. For us collectively, I just want us to be able to have freedom, financial freedom, cash flow. Literally everyone that at least connects to me or these other gurus out here, that you're getting at least two houses that you can cash flow, where you're creating housing solutions and, you know, housing people that are typically discriminated against with the Section 8, you know, income vouchers. But just really being intentional about buying some property, buying some land, cash flowing from those assets, um, alleviating some of the stress from your job, right? Because that's what's really killing us in our community. It's the stress, it's the high blood pressure, it's the poor health choices. And if we could, again, alleviate one burden, which would be the financial burden,
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll help. A lot of us are retiring and dying. Literally, my grandmother put in for retirement and died before the papers were finalized. So we're working all these years to save up for retirement and do this, and then you're not even living this to see or enjoy your retirement. And then if you do live, you have to go back to work because you don't have any money generated for your retirement to sustain you for going forward. So this is why cash flow is very important. And you need to do that as soon as possible. And it doesn't take that many years to get back on track. You know, so that might just look like 5 houses, 2 houses if you do it right. It could even be one house, right? It all depends on your income. So I think that's what women of all colors, black men or all men, needs to really focus on going forward. Not only development, but okay, how do I build this opportunity, build out this land and rent it out, right? So you can do the build to rent method as well. Refi, cash out, let it cash flow, and keep it moving. But cash flow is important. So hope I answered that question.
No, you definitely did. All right, so I'm gonna have you close out, and then I'll say my part. Tell the people all your information will be in the description below. But what parting words would you like to leave for the men and the women tuned in to hear you speak? And there's a lot of people going to be on the replay. So, what final
Yeah,
words do you have for the people?
let's see. So I just say that we need each other. Men, the women need you. Women, the men need you. We have to be a united front, especially if you're black. There's no reason why we should not be a united front. We need to, again, everybody should be owning income properties here. Everyone should be buying land and tapping into the resources of these land banks and these other organizations that have land for cheap. You could literally buy land for $1. That's what I just did. And you could do it too. Believe in yourself, believe in God. Those are the two most important things. Because you can believe in God and not believe in yourself and be stagnant. You can believe in yourself and not believe in God. Actually, some people that don't even believe in God, they get further in life because they believe in themselves so much, right? That
That
by
there's
fire
no
or
other
by
spirit.
force.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have confidence. Like you have to have confidence in yourself, despite where you are, despite what you've been told. Because we've been programmed and brainwashed as people of color that we're nothing, right? That we don't deserve anything. They even keep us boxed in our communities where it was oppressed and depressed, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when we try to move outside of that, we get defeated so easily. I can't do this, right? And then we go back into operating out of that spirit of poverty and fear. So we just need to break that off, and just go after everything that belongs to us. We should be owning our communities. It should not be these other people coming into our communities and buying up everything. The black dollar should be circulating for months in our communities because it's ours, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it doesn't circulate past what, 12 hours.
Nope.
As soon as we get paid, the money goes back out. And that's because we don't own anything in our community. So I think we just need to be intentional about that. And that's all I gotta say.
Man, I got the messages is
Oh,
hilarious. I got some people sending me messages saying they can't wait to buy some houses for $1 with you,
let's
and
go. So
and
y'all
that's
can
and
find me.
that's powerful, right?
Yeah.
And I want to end off by saying how much and how thankful I am and appreciative of you, because what I'm starting to learn in my 40s, I'm trying to make sure that all my influence of people. I've always been a person, I started out as a party promoter. So I was able to put 200, 300 people in a place
Right.
for enjoyment of partying and meeting people, right? So now I'm putting the events together and different, using my influence to put together and allow people to meet people and learn things that they never knew, right? So I don't know any female developers other than you. So my only female developer that Kevin Grimes know is a Black woman.
Wow. Well, that's powerful. And I thank you for even sharing your platform with me. And we pray that we make more developers, and we may make you a developer too. You know,
listen, you're gonna make me a developer, and I'm telling you, some people that I personally know that was excited for this call, they're already saying they're ready to tap in with you and get the ball rolling. So I'm happy because now I'm gonna have more developer friends that I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm ready now, and y'all gonna say, Kevin, you got $5? I got 10. Let's go. I got 10. So let's go get everything you can get with that $10. We're gonna go get. But once again, I'm truly humbled and thankful. Oh man, this is another powerful one. And then just your spiritual aspect. I thank you for that. Right. I was recently speaking to someone. And he said, I have an interview that I'm doing on Friday. He was like, but you go to church, Kevin? I'm like, I do. It's like, well, I have to mention that. I'm like, I've never mentioned that on camera before, but you're the interviewer. I can't tell you what, but just be prepared. I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer from the bottom of my heart and go from there. I appreciate your humility and you being able to share that it's just not, it wasn't luck. Nothing that you did was luck. You knew everything that happened to you was because God wanted it to, and it's going to continue to happen to you because you know that that's what he has in store for you. And I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yes. I have a whole lot of stories. Even how I just won the 5 lots, it was all God. Okay, it wasn't me. So once you just remember who is the one pushing everything, God will continue. If you give him the glory, he'll continue to bless you. And that's another thing I encourage everybody to do. So definitely follow me on Instagram. Check out the podcast. We're on YouTube at Journey to Develop Her. We should be coming back with some new episodes in April. Actually, I'm about to start releasing some long form content on there. But in April, we'll do some interviews with some of your favorites on social media as well. Because we all have a journey. No one just woke up with money in their bank account. A lot of us literally have the same story I do, and it's shocking to hear it. And it'd be God, literally. God be God. And so I just love to share that spiritual aspect and the development aspect as well. So it's really amazing.
All right. So all her contact information will be in the description. Please reach out to her. If you can't get her, reach out to me. I'm gonna get her on the phone, and we're gonna get this going. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Be good, be great, be blessed. This is Greatness Chats. Talk to you later.
Take care.